Hey guys, what is up? Pritesh from MegaNerd Squad here, and today I will be reviewing Don't Let Go. Don't Let Go stars David Oyelowo, if I'm saying that correctly, and Storm Reid as his niece in the movie. So this movie takes place where a police officer is kind of like a second parent to his niece, and his dad has been dealing with some mental issues and some other problems in his life. So one day she literally calls him to pick her up because her dad forgot, and he picks her up and talks with her. The very next day she calls again and there's something wrong, so he goes to the house to see what was wrong, and he finds them murdered. We don't know who murdered them yet at the very beginning of the movie, and he is just in a loss of words. Like, he doesn't know what happened. He just feels so guilty that he doesn't even know what to do. So this movie kind of plays with time a little bit. It plays with the fact that at the very beginning he gets a call from his niece who's dead, and he can't believe it, so he doesn't answer the first time, which actually I thought was a pretty good reaction. But he finally answers, and it's actually her, but she's actually 2 days before she was murdered. That's where she's calling from, and that's how they play with the time a little bit. So he figures this out, and he's trying to figure out who murdered them, and what happened leading up to that. And so they figure out that the dad actually had drugs and was dealing with some people, and it goes through literally the process of him telling the niece to get these clues so that way he can figure out who killed her and her parents. One thing I really enjoyed with this movie is that the chemistry between the main cop and the niece. Their chemistry is actually really good in this movie, and you could see when they connect to each other, even though most of the movie is them talking through a phone, because you could see that they actually care for each other and that the chemistry is on point and they know what's going on around them. This movie also does very well in the fact that it's a very emotional thriller, and it gets you at the edge of your seat a lot, and that's one of the things I liked about it. There's so many different things that this movie offers. If you're a fan of mystery, thriller, a straight up mystery and thriller would be the main things that would be in this movie for you. He goes through trying to figure out how he can save her so that way she stays alive. And towards the middle of the movie, you could tell that he's getting closer and closer, and he actually gets shot, and he's actually about to die, and he's trying to figure out what to do. And he goes into this weird state, like he just loses it, and then he's automatically back in his car, which is really weird because I have no idea what happened. It was like he almost died, and then he got trapped into a different future because of what she did and what he told her to do in the past, because she was calling him from the past, if that makes sense to you guys. I kind of figured it out at the end, but it's really kind of confusing. He wakes up after he's been shot. He passes out. I think he dies, but I'm not 100% sure because he's in an ambulance. And he wakes up in a car, and he's right next to his partner, and he realizes the date was Wednesday, and he looks at the newspaper and says the murders happened on Wednesday, but in the previous timeline that he was in where he got shot, the murder happened on Tuesday. So he realizes that he actually changed the future by telling her to call the cops to report her father. But the cops said that someone called 911 to report it, but it was a dud. So he literally goes back. Halfway through the movie, I kind of figured out who it was, which was kind of a downside, because it was like one of the main. There's only a few people really they focused on, and you could tell kind of halfway who it was a little bit. They didn't really explain too much, but you can kind of tell who it was. Throughout this movie, there's some action, there's more mystery to it, which I actually really enjoyed. Towards the end, though, you find out that his cop buddy literally was the one who shot him in the original timeline where they got murdered in the house and she died in the bathroom. In the second timeline, though, when he woke up, they were killed differently because of what he did to change the past for her while she was in the past, which makes kind of sense. If you guys are following, thank you. So in the past, the murders happened differently this time because he told her some different things and she took a different path than the original timeline. and this time she died on her bed, and it was just really kind of creepy and weird and kind of cool for me because I do like timeline stuff, time travel and all that stuff. I was very intrigued by it. Near the end of the movie, you see that the buddy cop takes him and the chief to a like unknown spot, and the chief literally puts on a cap and he shoots him in the head, and then they start to tell the story of what was happening. He literally is part of a corrupt cop organization, and one of the main leaders was called Georgie, and I believe he was Georgie, which is kind of weird in a sense because they were looking at all these different things. They never figured out who Georgie was, but I'm guessing that Georgie was the corrupt cop who killed Denise and her parents. So you go through the actual like murder sequence and you think that she's about to die, but this is actually the past timeline where he's talking to her, and she figures out that he's the killer, and she tries to run away from him, and he kills her parents, and then she runs away. She just keeps running away, and then he figures out, he gets shot in the leg and shot in the chest, and then he figures out, you have to save me so I can save you. So she runs to that past-present timeline and goes to Jack's house, the main character, the main cop, but Jack in the future is already shot in the leg and shot in the arm, so he's almost dead. But her niece goes to him in her timeline, and he saves him and shoots him, and that's where the present sets. So the movie literally ends after he kills him. That future him and everything that happened in the future is gone, and she's alive and he's alive, and that's how the movie ends. It could be somewhat confusing to a lot of people, but I actually really enjoyed this movie. This movie had a lot of great like intense moments, especially the ending, because it's kind of like scary to see like what was happening. He had a big shotgun, the main bad guy, and literally shot her dad in the head, shot the dog as well. It was just kind of really freaky to see, and they actually don't really explain as much as I would have liked, which kind of hurt the movie. They don't explain what he did, why he did it, the buddy cop. They don't explain exactly why, or there be hidden meaning or something like that. I have no idea, but it was still a really good movie that I liked, so I'm going to give it a 8 out of 10. There were very few characters to play with, which actually helped. I think if there was more characters, it would have hurt them a little more. And there was no character development between the niece's parents. I know they died at the very beginning, but there was no character development, and I really wish they kind of had more character development for the parents, because I would have felt more towards them, but really they made us feel towards the cop and the niece. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy it, leave a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel, and make sure to hit that bell so you get notified every time we upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Protection from MegaNerd Squad signing off.